I'll be so blue. Just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree. Oh, the same dear, if you're not here with me, and when the blue snowflakes start falling, it's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas of white, but I have a blue Christmas. You'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white, but I have a blue Christmas.
Hey, good morning, everybody. A little Elvis to get you going on this beautiful Thursday morning.
That's what it sounds like to me, too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Been a wonderful audience.
Oh, welcome to the Wade and Carter
Like
Show.
W.C. Fields doing Elvis. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's
Away from
Brent
me, boy.
Commander.
You're bothering me.
14 shopping days left until Christmas. Gotta love it. Wade and Carter weather brought to you with the great folks at 18 Deerland Hay Feed and Ranch Services. Stop on by. Rye seed is in. Onions are in for planting. Get your stuff in the ground now. So your winter garden, those bulbs won't freeze and never get scalded.
Why are you so giddy this morning? What
Lack of sleep.
is that? What you
Sleep deprived.
Is that what you want to call it?
46, heading to a high today is 72 degrees. Clear, feels like 44.
Mine says 45, feels like 40.
Which is wrong.
I agree. Sunny all day. High today of 72.
Ricky King, Stephanie Connie, good morning. Marina on the podium this morning.
Okay.
Rena Scher, Mark Kurtz, Scott Tomko, Scott Snow, Linda Christ. It's bingo night. That's why I'm so giddy.
There you
Marvin
go.
Mickish, Bobby Leister, Lisa Poole, BJ Nelson, Micah
You ever
Patton,
been there,
Melissa
Cody, when they
Hanson.
had like a premature bingo?
Never been there.
There you go.
We've had one.
We've had one where somebody. So we were playing a
Do we
game.
front her again? Do we
Huh?
front her out?
No, what was it? Who was it? Oh, yeah, it was Kelly from. Yeah, we could do that. We had a deal where you had to, what was it, a blackout?
Yeah.
You had to get every square done, and like somehow Kelly had like this diagonal thing. And she goes, bingo! And everybody goes,
We're
what?
like, what? Six
We've
numbers
only
in
called
on a
like
blackout?
6 numbers. Classic. Classic stuff. Yes, I wish Kelly Fromm would come back. I think my mom's going tonight. T-Lat says she's going. Very excited.
Melissa Hanson, Sherry Jacobs, Junior, Jared Glass, Bob Constantine. Good morning, Tammy Keeling. We're gonna miss Bob tonight, but we'll be thinking of you.
Bob's doing great. I've got the
Jordan
feedback
Glass,
that
yep.
Bob is doing great.
So glad you're all here, joining us this morning on the No Bull Network, KTMV in Corpus. Where do we start? Bob asking if you
We
can buy
could start.
pull tabs from afar. Callie
Look.
says go for the burgers if nothing else.
I tell you what, we can start. We can start with the fact that yesterday in Baltimore. So they have Waymo. WMO is it's a GPS pioneered driverless vehicle that you can use as a cab. You can hail a Waymo via an app on your phone. And a woman, we're certain this was a woman gave birth.
We are. The Democrats might not be.
Right. They can't be sure. And we don't know anything about or even its gender at this point. But a woman gave birth inside. Oh, it was in San Francisco. She got in the Waymo to go to the hospital and had a baby on the way. It says, making her newborn likely the youngest ever rider in an autonomous vehicle. How could it be any younger than that?
I don't know.
Anyway, Waymo's remote team detected unusual activity and contacted 911. It makes you wonder why, if you've got a Waymo, a truly driverless vehicle, why does it have a driver's seat? Wouldn't that be a great place to like set a bag or some luggage?
Why wouldn't you just call an ambulance?
Well, I don't think she thought it was that big an emergency. You know, by the way, if you're have no spouse available and you're taking Waymo to a hospital to give birth, you may not be your first kid. You know, you may be a veteran.
If it drops out on the Waymo, there,
Yeah, on the Waymo there.
I think that's what they name the kid, Waymo.
I'd name that kid Waymo.
I would. Got a story for life.
But you
with
put
that
like a
one.
hyphen right Waymo, you know, something like that.
Hyphen it, or do you put a slash?
Instead of like LeBron, it's Waymo. I like it.
I'm so sorry, folks.
Just
I've
call
tried.
Just call the kid Mo.
Apparently, Waymo's had some issues here in Texas, according to The Hill. Apparently, their cars are not stopping for school buses in the Austin area,
It's a lack of respect, you know.
and so update their software. I don't trust driverless vehicles. I can't do it.
Every Waymo we have in Victoria stops for buses.
I was in right, which is zero, right? That's right. I was in Washington D.C. and rode with a guy, super nice guy. He was from Nigeria, and he had a Tesla that I asked him about its self-driving mode, and he goes, "Is it okay if I use it?" I go, "Well, sure, you know." So he flips it on, and the screen pops up, and it shows you everything that's around you. Almost looked like a thermal scope. You know that look that you see when the look. Well, anyway, I'm driving along, and he says, "Here, you'll like this." And we slowed down and just eased over a speed bump that was in the middle of a high pedestrian area. And he said, when I first got this car, it would hit those things at 35 miles an hour and just beat you to death. He said, but then they had a software upgrade, that solved the problem. He goes, it gets better all the time. And he goes, when I'm done with my day, and he lived across the street, like in Arlington, across the river.
Yep.
He goes, I just set it and I sit back, and he goes, I let it drives, it stops in traffic, it does everything. And you think about it, like,
I don't know that I could ever trust it completely to
I don't
start,
think I would.
using a little incandescent hot plate to make breakfast on the way to work or something in there. I don't know. I don't know that I could do it.
Well, it's good until it's not, right? I mean, Cody works with computers every day, and that's all it is just a really sophisticated computer. And Cody wouldn't have a living if they didn't mess up. They mess up all the time. And who are you going to blame? I wonder if Tesla takes. Yeah.
They blame Cody as
Good
well.
morning. Look, there's the big Matus.
Yep. Good morning.
I like it. I like you
I do
too,
too.
listeners. Thank you for checking in.
Ricky King says the sound's breaking up. I'd say maybe get over to YouTube. We don't seem to have the issues with the sound on YouTube that we do
We
on
sound
Facebook for
different
some
today.
reason.
Do you agree? Kind of tinny.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
What gets me about this is, hey, Greg Garcia, what does get me about this is if we would have just stayed on the air like a Cory Booker filibuster, where we just keep blabbing nothingness for hours. At some point during that 24-hour period, would the sound have gone screwy? Because nothing changed except Cody came back. That's all. You think maybe Cody's gravitational force? That's his new nickname, the Black Hole. Oh, look, this is Andrew Alvarez, my old school YouTube account I started when I was wrestling.
What is old school?
What a story the dude's got.
I'm going to show this picture just because it's worth it.
He has a daughter that wrestles. She could be the little papoose. He's the big Matus.
This won the Nikon Comedy Wildlife Award for 2025. It beat over 10,000 entries. And this is a gorilla in Rwanda's mountains captured by a photographer out of the UK. Let's see if I can share my screen. It's out there for you.
You're thinking you can share it?
I think I can.
The little host who could.
There it is, folks. There's the gorilla.
he
That
doing,
was
like
one like a
karate?
high, yeah.
Goose stepping. Is he a fascist? Maybe he's a Nazi.
Oh, that is the
gorilla,
right arm in the air.
right? Wait, is that his arm or his leg?
Both?
Oh, his left arm's across his chest, and there's his left leg.
Yeah.
He's goose stepping.
Although I didn't, damn, they got opposable thumbs on their toes too. It's a pretty cool picture, actually. Can you imagine being in the wild to get that picture?
Can you imagine if that gorilla decided to come over and karate you?
Oh, then there's that.
You know, they forget how, like, brutally strong a big gorilla is. Like the big Matus. If I were a sound guy, I would turn y'all's vocals up. Just saying. It's Jay Glass checking in. BJ Nelson says that was on Channel 25 last night.
What was the gorilla?
The gorilla, I suppose, or the Waymo. I don't know. If the gorilla was on, good for Channel 25 for having some quality content.
General Rayburn says, I think the genius of driverless technology would be a huge benefit in communities like ours for seniors or disabled citizens. Any non-driver?
So you think she's getting in a car without a driver?
She doesn't trust it. Nope.
Nobody's going to do that.
Nope.
That's the problem. I agree with you 100%, Jennifer. We could sedate our seniors and just slide them into cars with. During COVID season, put 5 or 6 in there. Maybe
Would you
7.
ever have a silver alert again
No.
if they got into a car that knew where they were going?
Well, the good news is they're electric vehicles. Let's put out a 200-mile radius APB. We'll find them. They ain't going nowhere.
Where's Grandma?
BJ Nelson says the gorilla pic was on our own Channel 25 last night. That's what we were just perusing the internet. That's how long it took us to do everything that our local news television station did.
So, by and large, I think you and I agree that the social media ban in Australia is probably a pretty good thing.
Great idea.
How feasible, how logistically operational banning it will be interesting to see how that all happens. But I want to weigh in. I want you to give us a call, 361-894-4020 if you're listening on the Noble Network or Magic.
Yeah.
Should the U.S. do the same thing? Should the U.S. limit kids under the age of 16 from social media or ban them outright?
or underneath a certain age from
And
having it?
Australia picked 16. They did not apparently ban Roblox, which I had no idea, but apparently is a huge sort of portal to child predators. Had no clue. Thought it was just a silly game that was played. Really makes no sense to me.
The thought of it, I'll tell you how where my head is on it is the idea that signs and all that don't need to be on social media. And I told you this morning. It prompted me to delete my Twitter account. I got to thinking about it. And I don't know if any of you are like me at all, but
We're not.
I know. But what I realized is I spend too much time arguing with people that I'll never meet, whose opinion I don't really value, that I personally believe are dumber than me. To what end? You never change anybody's mind. on Twitter. And most, for me, make no mistake, most of it was just sports banter, and that was fun. But there were times that you would just go, you're an idiot. And then somebody would say, no, you're an idiot. And we're both probably right. And I just decided that's it. For no reason, I didn't have a fallout with anybody or anything crazy. Hey, Mark Zapata. I just decided that getting rid of it was a good idea. Yeah, I like it. What did HR the fact that they're not?
Said the Waymos aren't stopping for school buses loading and unloading students in Austin, and they're not preventing drunk drivers from going the wrong way on the tollway. How does that happen?
I don't know how that happens with.
Junior says parents will just make accounts for the kids, so it's never going to work.
And apparently, there's no penalty for that. But
no, I think there are huge fines.
But
how do you prove it?
Or for the businesses that do advertising that targets kids. What I liked that I heard one of the Australians say was, you will have plenty of opportunity in your life to fall victim to the algorithms and the endless promotions that are going to come to you. Let's don't waste your youth on it. And I heard a guy say, and I do agree with this, I think this is a place that VISD could make a tremendous improvement. He said that going outside, working up a sweat, and listening to classical music does more for young people than all the serotonin blockers on the planet. That if you take a dozen kids and let them go outside, run around, sweat a little bit, do something with some purpose, they're going to do better in a classroom than a bunch of kids doped up on Prozac and Adderall. And I can't help but agree. I think VISD, I've been to PE classes at our high schools. It's just a bunch of little fat kids walking around the gym. They're walking around the gym. They're not athletes. They just walk. Get them outside. Let them get some fresh air.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're ever in school when it's 120 degrees.
And even if it is, right, when I was in elementary school, Smith Elementary, that, by the way, I think they're getting ready to eliminate.
They are, apparently.
Which is fine. I mean, it was old when I was there.
Smith Shields gone.
Good, gone. Same era, built about the same time. Smith Elementary, we didn't have AC until the middle of my first grade year. We opened the windows. You could hear the birds during class. I mean, it was nice.
Yeah.
But now you can't have anything, body windows, and everything's got to be bulletproof because you got crazy people. So you got that. I guess we didn't have crazy back then.
No, we institutionalized
crazy and evil. Where they cross, that's something we didn't have. Here we do have. I'm expecting in the next couple of days, Tommy Taylor, a large announcement from Atzenhower dealership. The straight up Victoria's dealership have been for 100 years, beginning in 1926.
Yeah,
so
I'd argue South Texas dealer.
No doubt about it. Certainly with this region, with the No Bull network, with all the counties, Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzales, Carnes, on and on and on.
The trucks they sell, they're probably the biggest truck center.
Oh yeah,
around.
If you can hear us, you can have you. Go by and see Tommy Taylor. Stick your head and say, I want to talk to the man. I want to talk to the many dealerships right here in our own community. There's nobody that has any ownership interest at all in that dealership. You can't find the person that says, I want to sell a car right now. You find a bunch of minions that sell cars, not at Atzenhower. Go by this week. Went Services, went for all your electrical needs. You want an American-made Generac generator or a Kohler, Cummins, Briggs & Stratton.
Propane, diesel, they've got it all.
Went can come out and connect it to your home. Turnkey service. Went for all your general electrical needs as well.
And this technology is getting cheaper too. Cause,
absolutely.
Junior had one put in at his place, and I asked him what it cost, and the price was about what it cost when I looked at one about 5 years ago. So they're not getting any more expensive.
There you go. Chesnick Furniture.
Full-blown service.
Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get by and visit with Bob. Appreciate him being in business well over 100 years. See why you just always do better at Chestnut. Brand us, Commander Cody in the studio today. If you need,
I think you just woke him up.
yeah, he did.
He heard his
did
name.
Flinch.
He was like, he just had a flashback back to school where all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's kind of dozing off and teacher says his name. His
yeah.
head just popped up.
I can't come to the board now. Cody can help you revamp your Facebook page, your website. He can help
What's he
you
drinking over there? Is it
create
like a highball?
Yeah, like 3 fingers. 3 fingers.
It's
bourbon.
7:20 in the morning.
Can't
Oh,
drink all day if you don't
4
start in the
fingers.
morning.
It doesn't
fingers
start till
bourbon.
at least 8:30.
Paravita Wellness. This show will drive you to drink. The Vita Cafe this weekend. Get in for the Sunday brunch at the
Absolutely.
Vita Cafe. Fine exchanges going on there. You'll love it. When you're doing your holiday shopping, get by the Dollar Floor store and get something for yourself. Some new tile, some new floor that looks like tile,
Tyler looks like floor.
tile that looks like wood. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Get by the Dollar Floor store. All the great brands, they can help you find installers. You will love the offerings at the Dollar Floor store. And then White Trash Services. BJ and Scott Nelson do amazing things throughout our community, whether it be on the school board or on, they've been on Go Texan Committee, on and on and on. All the things they do to give back. They're also there to serve. If you need trash service anywhere in our listening area, which is huge, reach out to BJ and Scott at 550-1826. There you go.
894-4020, 361 is the area code. Give us a call if you think the U.S. should ban. Doesn't Aussie also have a drinking age below 21? I think they do, but so does Canada. And I will tell you that growing up in Canada and then living down here, and maybe it's changed, but I don't know any parents that held parties for their kids and bought the booze and, well, it's safer for them. to
That
drink
happens
at
a
home.
lot down here. There's
Yeah.
a lot of that parental rationalism, just saying it exists,
Yeah.
where people say, well, if they're going to drink, I'd rather them just drink at my house.
How about
And
they just
then
don't drink.
my goal, honestly, is to never be viewed as the cool parent. I'm not cool. I don't need to be cool. I'm here to make sure that I'm not, I tell my boys all the time, I'm not raising teenagers. I'm raising young men. My standard is higher. I'm not here to ensure that you're the cool high school kid. I'm here to make sure that we'll be friends later. You're scared to death of me, and I want to make sure that you understand that I'm on your side.
Kelly Fromme agrees. Your role is not to be your kid's friend.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, I think kids got it out of their. I think back home that you kind of got all that out of your system at a younger age. I don't know. If you can go defend your freedoms and go to war at 18, you should be able to have a beer.
Well, I don't disagree with that either, but there's just, I get it. Should we just have an age of accountability? Because, I have no problem if you're a 15-year-old kid and you've been arrested 27 times and you commit murder, I'm just as happy to drop a 9mm on your dome as I am a 35-year-old serial killer. I will try you as an adult. I have no problem with that. There are people that are just, what are you going to say to a kid? It happens all the time. That's an underestimation. People that have been arrested 15, 20 times, and then they're involved in an accident and kill a law enforcement officer. Put that dog to sleep. I got no problem with that.
That 18-year-old we talked about in Charlotte last week who has 16 priors and most of them violent. And now he was finally arrested for murder. And because they changed the law, he's being held on $5.2 million bond and no cash bond bails over there. They just kept letting him out.
Right.
So
Heather Stewart, a high school teacher, says it's sad how many of our students live that life and their parents see nothing wrong with it.
the problem is it's the parents living their lives vicariously through
Right.
their kids. It's almost like they regret their childhood.
Yes.
And so they're reliving it through their kids. That's the bigger problem to me is the parents are trying to be the kids again.
Bob Constantine, thank you. He says, you're awesome with the boys, Brent. Their manners are awesome. Yeah, but you know what? They're good on the road. You know what I mean? They're a good road team. I try to get them to do that at home. And here's the deal: there's
a
a
little
real
tougher.
well, there's a real fine line between being a tyrannical parent and being a parent who kind of allows them to stretch the envelope. I'll indulge it for a while. It's funny because I indulge it better with me. I'll take a from Caden, but if he says to his mother, I can give him that look that you're kind of used to getting from Brother Gary. And all of a sudden, they know they dropped the ball, and they
You don't
go
want
back
that
and
look.
They yes ma'am their mother.
Buddy 7-0 checking in. David, morning.
Did you listen to that video that I sent you of that Kentucky state representative?
I couldn't find it.
You go to your Twitter account and up the messages
I
part.
couldn't get in there. I was looking for it.
There was a lady,
It's telling me to create passcodes and stuff.
a white lady. I think you just have to make up a PIN number. She's a representative in Kentucky, which I think of as being a white state. Maybe I'm completely ignorant. Geographic makeup of Kentucky. I mean, Cody, you have to trigger him with the right word. Can't call him Junior.
Well, I thought you were talking to Junior.
I'm
and I
not.
was
Can
like-
you-
Sarah Stalker, is that the one?
Yeah, Sarah
Do
Stalker.
you want me to play this?
Yeah, I want you to play this. Can you bring up the demographic makeup of Kentucky, sir? Thank you. Hang on. Let's listen to this. Hey, Jack Troggett.
For a lot of reasons, because it's a point of privilege.
Listen.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons, because it's a point of privilege that I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do. And I'm just a female, just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege. I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world. Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad. So we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
What an idiot. If you scroll down into the comments, there's a guy puts on there, I'm an immigrant. And the only time I ever think about the color of my skin is when one of you liberal white idiots makes an issue of it. If you go down to where he says, I'm an immigrant.
A person of color. I don't think about the color of my skin until some liberal clown like this keeps reminding me about the color of my skin. Give it a rest, lady. An STFU.
Yeah, it more.
If you make skin color seem like it's a disease that I have to be constantly sad about, stop your white savior mentality.
White savior mentality, which
That's a great phrase.
allows her to become a victim because she's feeling sympathy for a group of people that don't need it. They don't want it. I've never known anybody, although now, and I think in one of the great,
Well, they're all in the Democrat Party.
well, there's no doubt, one of the great underscores of all time is that we've now lumped in our beautiful Hispanic Latino community. We've lumped them in with the Caucasians. And I mean, technically they're certainly more, they're white, but I mean, I get it. But when I was a kid, are you of European descent? Are you of Mexican descent? We didn't have Hondurans roaming our flags. That's right. Marina adds, I'm just a woman. No self-respecting woman ever says that. The makeup of Kentucky, as this woman wants white kids to suffer so they can feel what their minority friends feel. Kentucky is 8% black, 8%, 5% Hispanic, and 5% everyone else. That's the Chinese restaurants. And 82% white. It's 82% white and so broad in Kentucky. is whining about, I just moved through the state with such privilege. It reminded
Well,
me
you
to
live
be,
in the United States and you have the freedom to move freely, so there's that.
it's like we've talked about Jasmine Crockett. The fact that she's playing down to that ghetto wannabe inner city black mentality, there's not enough of those people to get her elected. And none of my Hispanic friends buy into that garbage. They're like, that girl is fake. I don't know what she thinks. I don't know what strategist made her believe that that was the way to be. And there's no doubt that people are treated differently. It is what it is. If you don't like that, move back to Somalia for $600 a year average salary. I'll tell you this, I guarantee you, if I went to Somalia tomorrow, I promise you I'd make more than $600 a year.
Because you're white.
Privilege in Somalia, wouldn't I? Just because I'm white. Yeah. I could walk in and immediately demand a cell phone, a place to stay, some health benefits. I'm sure that would go well in a country where people make $600 a year.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
And you'd probably get killed for doing it.
People have always been treated differently forever. And now you've got the left moaning about that we don't treat our LGBTQ, not even, I don't care. I don't care who you sleep with. I care that you demand extra rights in our society. I care that you're like, I was born with male genitalia, but I've always known that I was a woman. Where do I go to the bathroom? And oh, by the way, hurry because I have a swim meet. BS. You're an outcast. Go be an outcast. I mean, you're never going to be mainstream. It's weird. You're weird. You have mental health issues.
You'll never be a woman.
You have mental health issues. BJ Nelson having a side conversation saying hi to Jack Troggett. Yeah, Linda Chris, if white is so bad, why does everyone want to be white? Have you seen Beyonce? Blonde hair, thin nose. Come on.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson couldn't wait to be white. He was one of the coolest black guys. Yeah. Chris Rock did a whole bit on that. Yeah. Andrew Alvarez says, if I go to Somalia, I'm going Lord of War mode. Yeah, we could take over Somalia in about a week. I think that's what's over.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us
Should
about
we take
that.
a break real quick? Take a next break. And then
That's
we'll
called a
get into
tease,
that.
folks.
What
That's
is
called a tease.
Teaser, maybe?
Teaser. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen, for your next towing opportunity, if you have a problem with your car not starting and need a jump, cold weather is coming. It's called climate change. It happens seasonally, and they're coming. 578-6300 for Allen's Wrecker Service. It is post-Caldo Wednesday, Thursday. Veracruz Restaurant inviting you to come in. Have everything but the caldo. Drowning enchiladas, make plate. It is wonderful. Veracruz Restaurant, the best in town.
Absolutely.
Queso, guac, hot sauce, homemade chips, homemade tortillas that I don't have anymore. I promised on, but they're the best. Coatings, sand it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want put down, a logo with a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't
Crack, stick, peel, or fade.
reach out to 578-HOME.
Join us tonight at Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. It's
Where
Wayne Carter Bingo
friends
night tonight.
meet
We'll be there.
friends.
And 7, we'll be there, what, 7-ish?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. First ball pops at 7:30.
There it
You're
is.
you're out of there by 10 o'clock. And then I'm going to tell you something about the chopping block. I signed up for their 5-star rewards deal.
Yeah.
And my birthday's coming up. I got a text the other day. Come by, get a free High Plains steak.
How about that?
So there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ash's
So
birthday
I'm
would
gonna
be
go get a steak.
mañana. We're still going to be here trudging
Yep.
along.
Oh yeah, I don't take the birthday off.
No. Let's take from Christmas to New Year's
It's an
off.
interesting question. People have been treated differently. Is that okay, or when is it okay? I don't know that it's, well, it depends if it's okay. There can be times it's okay,
It's called reality.
but people do treat people differently.
No doubt.
We're animals. Animals treat animals differently.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, there's days I walk in, Ash crawls up, sniffs my butt. There's days he doesn't. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, folks.
It's just saying, if we were all like dogs, we'd be better, right? We'd bark at each other, get together,
Yep.
do a little sniffing, everybody be happy. But we're not.
Tails would wag.
People get treated differently, and stereotype. I've never heard of a stereotype ever that wasn't somewhat rooted in truth.
Or at least your experiences.
Yeah, my experience with people that get stereotyped is
They're
that.
idiots.
Yeah, well, they just, they do. But yes, I agree. You have to. The problem that we have is that the left is always trying to make up for the past. I mean, we go back and people are like, well, they stole the land from them and these people stole the land from them. It used to be that, people came and they settled and they expanded and they did things. The pioneers, if you will, the people that went west in our country didn't have an easy road. They fought and defended, and the European settlers didn't beat, if you will, the Native Americans because they were white. They didn't beat them because of Black America. They beat them because they were committed to taking over the land. Do I apologize for that? No. Is it a shame? Yeah, it is. Because if you look at the states like California and Colorado, it would be better, and New Mexico, if the buffalo still roamed free and the Native Americans still hunted them, because we wouldn't have all those liberal idiots living in those states. But it is what it is. I am assuming
you're trying to apply today's morality to what was going on 200, 300 years
That's
ago,
true.
and it just doesn't work.
That's true. I mean, why is it that when people want to do all this revisionist history, nobody has really ever made a strong push to, well, we should remove George Washington from our money. I mean, he owned slaves. It just is what it is. Does it make any sense at all today that a man should own another man? Absolutely not. However, there are more slaves worldwide today, literal, by definition, enslaved people, than there ever were, quote unquote.
It's
back
still
then.
happening in this country.
Yeah. And blacks sold blacks back
Thanks
then.
to the 20 million illegals that came through under the Biden administration, a lot of them sold into slavery,
But
the sex trades.
you can look at slavery and people talk about reparations. You think that's really going to help anybody? If the government went further in debt and just gave every black person $100,000, what you'd have is a whole bunch of used Cadillacs in 2 years. Tell me I'm wrong.
All
They've already got it.
all you have to do is look at any time the government gives anybody any sort of extra money. The savings rates in this country never go up.
No, that's right.
The credit rates, the credit limits, we end up on more credit because we spend it. And then we get credit because, well, you know what? The government just gave me $2,000 in tariff refunds. And, well, it's going to cost me $5,000 for that new piece of furniture that I want. So I'm going to go and get $3,000 worth of credit to go with that $2,000 that I'm going to spend.
That's right.
That's what happens.
And then
Americans are saving less money now than ever in the history of this country.
Yeah. I look at it and say, it is what it is. I mean, if you are a person who is born Asian and I think the Asians are always my poster child for, don't tell me that you've got it bad if you're born black in America. Because there's a little Asian kid right now who's fixing to be valedictorian of his school. Why? Because their parents, I've been Chinese restaurant where the kids were sitting out front on a bench because the mom and dad were working until 9:30. And the kids are out there doing their homework under the porch light.
Not scrolling on a phone.
No, they're working.
Jared McCrugan, my cousin, says they all get treated the same in totalitarianism, communism, socialism,
Absolutely.
except for an in charge and the ruling elite.
Right.
They have a completely different set of rules, standards, living arrangements, living conditions, they don't have to stand in line for bread. Go back to the Soviet Union days.
I don't agree.
Now, this is part of my cover where I try to seem like an American so that I don't blow the cover. But I never stood in line for bread and meat and cheese in the Soviet Union. They brought it to me.
But there's no doubt that certain people have certain gifts that other people don't have. I don't have a problem with certain people having certain gifts that I don't have. There are kids that were these that they was understood they were going to go to Yale and they were going to go to Harvard Law School and their dad had a big job on Wall Street. I can mope about that or I can play the cards I'm dealt. And to a degree, we're all dealt cards. If one of your cards happens to be that you're born black in America, there's no doubt, and there's nothing I can do about it, that could be viewed as a disadvantage. But at the same time, my black friends excel. They pushed through. They also became strong enough people to be my friend. I'm not going to go down and hang out in the ghetto with the crackheads to feel bad about myself. Oh, look at the privilege I've had. I refuse to do it. A problem in this country is that everything you see in the media has been designed to emasculate men. There are no real men in this. There is no John Wayne. There is no Ronald Reagan. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a foreigner, and he's 80. Sylvester Stallone is in his late 70s. Name one. Chuck Norris in his 80s. The people that you used to look at and say, man, that's a guy. There was never anybody more masculine than a singer, a performer, when Elvis Presley did his 68 comeback special.
Yeah.
There was nobody more masculine. Tom Jones in the 60s. These were people that were viewed as the personification of sexuality, of masculinity. Name one. Bundy, Al Bundy. Is that the guy? The guy, the man, especially the white man, on every TV show is the bumbling idiot. He is.
I think it's just a man in every TV show. Remember?
The idiot.
What was the one where, what was it? Captain Winslow?
I don't know. I don't watch much normal
Well, this
TV
was back
because
in
of that.
80s or 90s. The one with Urkel, I think. The
Speaking
cop
of,
dad in
look,
that was a bumbling idiot, even though he was a captain of the police department.
do you need to go any further than to see the emasculation of men than my buddy Andy Rokovich? I have 2 extra tickets for tonight's Nutcracker performance. If anyone wants, send me a message. Right there. Could anything be any more emasculated?
I remember when the Nutcracker was a jump you made off the diving board into the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. The media and everything else is there to point out the folly of men. There's just no getting around it. There are no, Junior Sam, when I think of what real men are, I think of Clint Eastwood and Charlton Heston. Charlton's dead, Eastwood's 88. I mean, what else do you want? Name one. Show me a...
But here's the thing. We don't know what they were really like in real life. Clint Eastwood
Well, it
maybe
doesn't
a little
matter.
bit.
I'm just talking about
Yeah.
symbolism as promoted
No,
by
true.
the media and by Hollywood. Even Jean-Claude Van Damme, even Tom Cruise, 5'3", $180. You know,
We're just playing with you, Andy.
Andy, you know we're playing with you.
I mean, think about the guys. Think about the male characters on the show Friends.
They're all weak.
Matthew Perry was weak. He cracked witty jokes and was sarcastic. Ross was a fool, and Joey was an ignoramus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt. And then you look at it, and the women were always manipulating them.
And none of them could ever get anything done right.
Which, by the way, if you want to see it live, just come spend a day at my house where Dawn goes, you did what? That was dumb. In her case, she's right, but I'm just tuned into it because it's undeniable. Nobody can argue it. There's nothing to argue. I just gave you a fact. Men in the media and the mediums are always portrayed as weak and stupid. If you're an action hero, you have terrible relationships.
Spider-Man.
Batman can't get a second date. Think about it.
And I think that's one reason why Donald Trump pisses off the left.
Well, yeah, because he just doesn't care. He just stands up and says what he wants to say. And then he always ends up being right. I'm going to be curious how he does this. Listen to this. Is it not normal that Donald Trump, largest one ever seized? The United States yesterday seized an oil tanker off the Venezuelan coast.
We had a warrant, apparently.
President Trump showed up and said, I have a warrant.
It's funny because I'm curious because there have been people on the left going, well, the instead of shooting those drug running boats, they should have boarded them and taken control of them.
That's
Well, they
so
just did that
stupid.
yesterday with an oil tanker off the coast
Just
of
blow
Venezuela.
up the drug boats. Keep blowing up the drug boats. Have you had one blown up in the last couple of days? They kind of quit coming when they get blown up.
You know what's funny? In the 90s, we did blow them up and nobody complained
No,
about
well,
it.
if Barack Obama sends drones by the literal, what was it, 3 an hour on average, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for his entire presidency, actually killing several Americans with his drone strikes in Iran, nobody said a word. Most of you didn't even know it happened. Donald Trump blows up a drug boat that's so obviously a drug boat. And, oh, it's war crimes. It's Pete Hegseth's got to resign. Trump should be impeached. He's a murderer.
First of all, it wasn't a war.
It's not at war. Could have been crimes against humanity. I don't think I ever apologized to you. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure.
No, nobody's apologized to me.
I'm not apologizing for anything.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But apparently, when asked, President Trump said, well, I guess we'll keep the oil.
Yeah, well, it's been oil that's been transported for years.
Venezuela's selling it to Iran against sanctions.
Yeah,
And President Trump finally said, you know what?
that's enough.
We're coming after the drugs that are fueling your country's run. And now we're going to go after the oil. I mean,
It says the tanker was reportedly headed to Cuba, which sells Venezuelan crude to Asian markets, primarily China. So Trump taking the very subtle, the not so subtle battle directly to Venezuela and the Maduro regime and to China. Now, I have no problem with it. You notice how China isn't doing a thing about it. It's interesting. The difference is Donald Trump can play flinch because they know that he will do what he says he's going to do. If Joe Biden would have done this, the Chinese would have gone, boo, and Joe Biden would have backed down. Joe Biden. Remember Joe Biden?
a lot of speculation. This is all pressure to force Maduro from power.
Which, again, we've talked about it here for years. Trump is playing chess while you people are watching checkers. The fact of the matter is he wants a regime change in Venezuela to return them to prominence in our hemisphere. We don't need them being a rogue dictatorship so close to the U.S. And they happen to have a lot of stuff we want, like oil and stuff, which is what's driven the world forever.
We just talked a little bit about this, but new data shows that U.S. credit card balances climbed to $1.21 trillion.
Now stop and think about that for a minute. I'll give you a parallel. 1.21 trillion is all the credit card debt in this country. Just yesterday, headed towards an IPO, SpaceX, owned by Elon Musk, was valued at 1.5 trillion. Elon Musk's company is worth as much as all the credit card debt in this country.
Federal Reserve Bank of New York, a new 5 report says the average American is carrying $6,000 $6,523
I
in
am way
credit card debt.
skewing that curve in the wrong direction. No doubt about it. Elon about to have an IPO in Texas. It's estimated that number is 7,000. Same in California, and a little less than New York at 6.7.
The cheese dairy farmers and growers in Wisconsin and Iowa carrying the least amount of debt.
DC at
Be a credit
7.7, same as Alaska. So where there's lots to do and life is expensive, 7.7. Where there's nothing to do and you shop Amazon all the time, 7.7 in Alaska.
It is interesting when I look at this. I mean, Texas is up there, but a lot of the states that have high credit card debt tend to be blue.
Yeah.
New York, Washington,
Texas just tends to be
Colorado.
so big, it ends up with a lot of poor people.
But-
That's fact.
Arkansas, 5.8. It's interesting. It really is.
Well, they make the meth in Arkansas, so they don't have to borrow as much.
The highest balances are in DC, Alaska, and Hawaii.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
There you have it. States with the lowest: Iowa, West Virginia.
Well, you can't buy meth in West Virginia on credit card.
Right. Very nice.
More than 80% of consumers in all states have active revolving accounts, according to the report. It's crazy.
I think we should all get together and send the big banks a message and just quit making our payments. How about that? What if everybody just defaulted on their credit cards?
Got a better idea. Stop using credit.
Yeah, because
Save cash.
it's the same thing, right? You make the debt, you got to pay the bill, and it's exactly the same as like
Unless
student
unless
loans.
it's your student loan, right?
Sure,
No.
then you don't have to.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, this is Representative Haley Stevens. She's from Michigan. Filed articles of impeachment against Robert F. Kennedy Jr., calling him the biggest self-created threat to our health and safety. Do you feel less healthy or safe since RFK Jr. said, hey, let's get the additives out of food and let's realize that this, and this don't really help anybody?
Not
and-
really, but that's
Okay.
because I stopped eating Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops 30 years ago.
There you go.
But you know what's interesting that with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and some of the things that he's doing, other countries are following suit,
Yeah.
and not all of them are run by conservative right-wing governments.
No, and the food makers, Kellogg's, Post, those folks are saying, well, we're going to take the color out. It'll help their margins. They have to pay for the color. So, it is what it is.
It's
So Junior says, don't use credit, use cash. But let me ask this. Did you see the other day where the British Prime Minister said that you will have to have digital ID? I don't know what that means. Cody,
ask the Chinese government.
digital ID. You have to have digital ID in the UK to work. Many people saying incorrectly, oh, it's the mark of the devil. The British Prime Minister is the Antichrist. It's not so. But that's what they're saying. And you find yourself going, what are they calling? What is the prognosis for digital ID, Commander?
China has it. China, apparently, your phone is your lifeline in China. Everything you do is connected to it. You want to get on the subway somewhere, on a train, your phone is your ticket.
Yeah, it's basically that. It's basically adding your license or a passport card to your phone and being able to show it all at once. However, Apple, who created it, said it's not to replace your physical passport.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
How easy could
could
it
you?
be?
How is this going to go down in this country? Let me see your ID, and somebody reaches into their shirt pocket to get
Get
their
shot.
phone.
They
All
get
he was
shot.
doing was pulling his phone out of his shirt.
Right.
the interesting thing to me is that means Apple now has the ability to verify the validity of your license and
Yeah.
passport, which gives them a lot of info they maybe didn't have a need to have previously.
Absolutely. Linda Chris says, "What a man does, says that's what a man does best, the right thing. If a man doesn't do the right thing, he is lacking. That's why being a man is hard." I know that's true if you substitute the word father for that.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a, birth provider, giver, but it's very difficult to be a father. Very difficult to be a mother these days too.
Any man can be a spewer of seed.
Absolutely. Or fertilizer, depending on how you view the plant life.
Or,
Yeah.
or waterer.
I saw one the other day, you guys said, children, the gift that keeps on taking. Very true.
Junior says Linda understands his struggle.
The struggle is real,
Yeah,
Junior.
but I think it's more Linda's struggle than
Oh,
Junior's.
there's no doubt. She's a saint. Melissa Hanson says that deters undocumented individuals.
Does it? They just use the phones to get into our country easier.
All right, you just hire a guy like Cody to give you a fake ID. I mean, your fake ID on your phone. would
Just
be
get your
easy.
mom
Not a
to
problem.
just get your mom or dad to give you the account you need so you can get past the government bans on things.
As a parent, you have the opportunity, something I mentioned yesterday. If the government were to come in and say, hey, look, we're going to, for the good of everybody, we're going to, ban social media accounts. There's nothing in the Constitution that guarantees you a social media account. It's not the same as saying, well, let's pick up all the guns. And if you're not going to let the kid, that's not in the Constitution. So my deal with that is parents have an opportunity to support what's good for the greater good. Just like parents have an opportunity to tell their kids, I don't care if your teacher law and allows you to use your device in class, stay off your phone at school. It's against the law.
Yeah. Here's what I think's happened. Because crime rates have remained steady for 50 plus years. But the media and movies like Taken,
Great series.
I will find you and I will kill you.
It's a
right?
great series. Yeah, I like it. Liam Neeson's 87 years old, still whipping people. So believable.
Scares me in that movie.
Yeah.
But the media has portrayed America
He's
as
73.
Is that all? Thank you. I think I could take him. I don't know.
you couldn't outrun him.
Liam, you stand there and fight. You don't outrun him.
The media has portrayed this country as unsafe. Kids are just being grabbed off the street. Amber Alerts are a dime a dozen every day. There's millions of them, right? So instead of telling kids to go outside and play when they get on your nerves, like our parents used to do,
Right.
we hand them a phone. We tell them to get online
Placate him.
because we don't want them out of our sight. We've gone from giving kids freedom to explore the world and do things and learn things on their own and fall off the monkey bars to learn that you can't. Maybe I'm not supposed to climb that high up the monkey bars because I don't have the grip strength to hang on.
Sounds like he's having a flashback.
Not at all.
Were you good on the monkey bars?
Not bad. Not bad on the monkey bars.
Sweet. You have opposable thumbs. I'm with you.
Burn my legs on those metal slides in the playground too.
Remember when you would slide and it squeaked? Like when the
We
sweat,
used to take wax paper and make them even faster.
but when the sweat was, spread out on the slide at the bottom.
That's
It
where the
hurt.
wax, that's where the wax paper came
Oh,
in too, because that
man.
wax would make them really slick. But that's what we've done because parents are so afraid that their kid's going to be swiped off the street. And my brother will tell you, one time we were walking to kindergarten, 5 years old. Mom would be arrested now if we were walking to kindergarten by ourselves at 5 years old. Lady in the green, I think it was like a Grand Prix or money car this day, 5 years old. She pulled up and asked if we wanted to ride to school. Me and my brother were so polite. No, thank you. And then we took off running.
Scared a little bit.
She was
right?
going the other way. We were walking this way. She was coming this way, kind of pulled up. We ran to kindergarten.
how the world would be different if Ash and his brother had been abducted. They probably would have kept Corey. They saw value in him. They would have brought you home.
But that was it. But kids, the crime stats haven't changed much at all. And you're more likely to be abducted by somebody you know than a complete stranger. But parents have become so afraid, they've been conditioned to become so afraid to let their kids do these things. And then they don't want their kids to explore anything. They want to push all obstacles out of the way. And we wonder why this is where our kids are and the generations are. And they don't know how to cook a meal and live on their own and provide for themselves.
Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. We have to let Mr. Positive here get home so he can get abducted.
It is a positive
Hope
message.
you guys
Let your kids experience life.
let your kid burn the toast. We love you guys and hope you have a great day.
Let your kid put the fork in there to get the toast out.
Why can't Mr. Fork and Mr. Outlet be friends? We'll talk to you manana, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.